Hmm. Have you ever felt like you almost know English, but then suddenly you get stuck? Yeah, that's exactly what happens when you're trying to use the present perfect tense in real conversations. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our little corner of English practice. I'm Emma, and as always, Max is right here. Max, tell me, have you ever said something like, I have ate lunch?
Oh, yes. I've done that countless times, and every time I hear someone correct me, my brain just goes, no, I should have said eaten, not ate. But you know what, Emma? That's exactly why we're here, to make it less stressful and more human.
So today, we're diving into present perfect, that tricky little tense that makes even intermediate learners overthink. But guess what? By the end of this session, you'll feel much more confident using it in your daily conversations. And yes, I promise, we'll keep it relaxed with some laughs along the way.
So today, we're diving into present perfect, that tricky little tense that makes even intermediate learners overthink. But guess what? By the end of this session, you'll feel much more confident using it in your daily conversations. And yes, I promise, we'll keep it relaxed with some laughs along the way.
All right, let's start with a story. Last week, I went to this small bakery, and I wanted to say to the cashier, I have tried your new croissant, because I had tasted it the day before. But somehow, my words came out like, I tried your croissant yesterday. I have ate it? Oh, Max, you should have seen my face.
Yes, and I remember thinking, why is this so complicated? English has too many little traps. But here's the key. Present perfect is all about connecting past actions to the present moment. It's not just grammar. It's about showing that your experience matters now.
So Max, can you explain that in super simple language?
Sure, think of it this way. You use present perfect when you want to talk about experiences or actions that happened at an unspecified time before now. You don't say when exactly. It's not important. You're highlighting the experience itself. For example, I have visited Paris means your visit happened at some point in the past, but the focus is on the experience, not the exact time.
Oh, that actually makes sense. So if I say, I have eaten sushi, I'm telling someone, hey, I've had that experience, without specifying when?
Exactly. And here's the cool part. You can also use it for recent events that affect the present, like, I have lost my keys. Your keys are still missing now. Or, I have finished my homework, meaning now you're free to relax.
Haha, I love that. It feels practical, not just a boring grammar rule.
Now, let me ask you all, have you ever struggled to talk about your experiences in English because you were afraid of making a mistake? I know you must be thinking, yes, that's me. And that's perfectly fine. That fear is exactly why we're practicing today.
Here's a little trick that really helps. Start with short, simple sentences. Don't overthink. For instance, instead of saying, I have never really experienced Italian cuisine in my life before, just say, I have tried Italian food. It's clear, correct, and feels much easier to say in a conversation.
Oh, I like that tip. And don't forget reaction words. They make your sentences natural. If someone asks, have you seen this movie? You can say, yes, I have. It was amazing. See, just a small word like amazing adds life and confidence.
Haha. And for those of you thinking, I'll never get this, trust me, you can. Remember, even Max and I make mistakes all the time. The key is to speak, correct yourself gently, and keep going. That's how real improvement happens. By the way, quick question for you watching right now. What experience have you had this week that you could talk about using present perfect? Write it in the comments. I really want to know.
And don't worry, if you're still unsure about when to use it, we'll keep giving examples in natural conversation. By practicing in everyday situations, like ordering at a cafe, talking about your week, or sharing stories with friends, you'll get more comfortable without feeling pressured.
All right, Max. Any last thing before we move on?
Yes, remember, the secret is not to aim for perfection. Focus on communicating, sharing your experiences, and slowly building confidence. Mistakes? They're just stepping stones.
Love that. So everyone, start thinking of one small thing you've done this week and try saying it in present perfect today. Trust me, it's easier than it seems. And stick around because we're going to give even more practical tips soon. All right, Max. So we've talked about using present perfect to share experiences. But what about situations when we want to talk about things that just happened? Like recent events that affect the present?
Ah, yes, that's a good point. Present perfect is super useful here too. For example, you can say, I have just finished my coffee, or I have already called my friend. It shows that something happened very recently and still has relevance now.
Oh, so it's like the action is finished, but it still matters in this moment. I see. That actually helps me explain things more naturally when talking to friends.
Exactly. And here's a small tip. Use just, already, or yet to make your sentences feel even more natural. For example, I have just arrived, or I haven't finished yet. Simple words, but they make your English sound much smoother.
I remember the first time I used yet in a sentence. I said, I have not eaten yet, but I forgot the have, and the cashier just stared at me.
Oh, I've been there too. But that's how we learn. Little mistakes like that actually help us remember the correct forms. And trust me, everyone makes them. It's totally normal.
So, Max, do you have a simple trick for remembering when to use yet versus already?
Yes, think of yet as something still pending. It hasn't happened at the time of speaking. Already is for something that has happened sooner than expected. For example, I haven't eaten yet means I'm still hungry. I have already eaten means I'm done, probably earlier than someone thought.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So, in a conversation, if someone asks, have you finished your homework? I could say, yes, I have already finished it, or no, I haven't finished it yet. Easy.
Exactly. And here's another tip. Don't be afraid to combine these with reaction words. If your friend asks, have you watched that movie? You could say, yes, I have already. It was awesome. Or, no, I haven't seen it yet. That little awesome makes your English feel lively and confident.
I love that. Small words, big impact. And for our viewers watching, tell us in the comments, have you used yet or already this week in your conversations? I'm curious.
Another thing that really helps is thinking in chunks instead of single words. For example, instead of memorizing I have eaten as a separate phrase, you can think, I have eaten breakfast this morning, or I have seen that movie already. When you practice with full chunks, speaking becomes much easier.
Oh, yes, I totally agree. And I think that also reduces overthinking. Instead of worrying about grammar while speaking, you just use phrases you're familiar with. It's more natural.
Exactly. And don't forget, practice makes it real. Try to use present perfect when talking to friends, ordering food, or even texting someone about your day. The more you use it, the more confident you get.
Hmm. Max, some of our viewers might be thinking, but I still mix it up with simple past. How do we know which one to use?
Great question. Simple past is for actions completed at a specific time in the past, like, I ate breakfast yesterday. Present perfect is for experiences or actions without specifying time, like, I have eaten breakfast today. Focus on whether the exact time is important. That's the difference.
Ah, so simple. Think about it. Specific time, simple past. Experience or effect now, present perfect. Got it.
And here's a fun way to practice. Start sharing small updates about your day using present perfect, like, I have met a new friend today, or I have finished reading a chapter. Small steps, but it builds confidence fast.
Yes. And don't forget, write your sentences in the comments. Even just one line today. That helps you see your progress and join our little practice community.
Exactly. And remember, every mistake is just a stepping stone. Mistakes don't make you bad at English, they make you better.
Love that. So everyone, just try one small sentence in present perfect today. And stick around, because in the next part, we'll show more real-life examples and tricky sentences you can use confidently. All right, Max. So now we've covered experiences and recent actions. But sometimes, even when we know the rules, it's tricky to remember the words in conversation. Have you ever had that moment?
Oh, definitely. I remember one time I was talking to a friend about my week, and I completely blanked. I wanted to say I have visited the new museum, but instead, I just froze.
Been there, Max. And that's totally normal. That's why we always say preparing ready phrases makes a huge difference. You have some sentences ready, and you just plug in your experience.
Yes, for example, you could have a mental list like, I have tried, I have seen, I have done. Just add your experience at the end. Boom, your sentence is ready to go.
Oh, I love that tip. And it's so much less stressful than trying to think of everything from scratch. You know what's funny? I tried doing this the first time, and I accidentally said, I have saw a movie.
Classic mistake. But see, even that helps you learn. After correcting yourself, your brain remembers the right form.
True. And here's another thing. Use reaction words to make sentences sound natural. For example, if someone asks, have you tried sushi? You could say, yes, I have. It was delicious. That delicious really makes it lively and confident.
Absolutely. And it also keeps the conversation flowing. Instead of just saying, yes, I have, adding a reaction word makes it feel like you're part of the chat.
Now, I want to ask our viewers, what's one thing you've done this week that you could say in present perfect? Write it down. Even a short sentence counts. It really helps you practice and builds confidence.
Another useful tip, combine present perfect with questions to engage others. For example, have you ever tried Italian food? Or, have you seen the new movie yet? It's a natural way to use the tense in conversation.
Oh, yes. And sometimes the best way to remember is by sharing your experiences. Talk about small daily things. I have walked in the park, or I have cooked dinner today. When you share, you're practicing, and it becomes second nature.
And here's a trick for tricky sentences. Break them into smaller chunks. Don't try to say everything at once. For example, instead of, I have visited many countries and learned a lot of languages, start with, I have visited many countries. Then later, add the rest. It's much easier to speak naturally.
I love that. And one more thing. Don't forget self-correction. If you say, I have went to the market, Just pause and correct yourself. No, I have gone to the market. That small correction helps reinforce the right form.
Exactly. And sometimes, admitting mistakes makes conversations more real and relatable. You're showing that it's okay to make errors while learning.
Now, quick tip for listening practice. Pay attention when native speakers use present perfect. For example, in videos or podcasts, notice phrases like, I have just finished, I have already done that, or I haven't tried it yet. Listening helps you internalize the structure naturally.
And remember, it's not about perfection. Focus on expressing yourself and connecting with people. The more you speak, the easier it gets. Mistakes are just part of the learning journey.
Yes, and for our viewers, try saying at least 2 sentences today using present perfect. Even small sentences count. Share them in the comments if you can. We love reading your examples.
And one last thing. Don't forget to use short, simple sentences combined with reaction words. Like, I have seen that movie. It was amazing. It feels natural and makes you sound confident, even if you're still learning.
Absolutely. So everyone, practice small sentences, correct yourself gently, and remember, your experiences matter. The more you use present perfect, the more fluent it feels. Stick around for the final part because we'll show real-life examples and fun mini challenges that make this tense even easier to use. All right, Max. So now we've practiced experiences, recent events, and small ready phrases using present perfect. But you know what really helps? Making it part of your daily conversation, even in small ways.
Absolutely. Start with simple daily updates. For example, I have cooked breakfast today. I have walked in the park. Or, I have talked to my friend. These small sentences gradually make you feel more fluent.
And here's something fun. You can even share tiny achievements with friends or family using present perfect. Like, I have finished my work, or I have cleaned my room. Little moments like that make learning practical and enjoyable.
Yes, and the key is consistency. Use present perfect whenever you can, even if it's just one sentence a day. Over time, it becomes natural.
You know, Max, some viewers might worry about confusing simple past and present perfect when sharing their experiences. How do we make that easier?
Great question. Remember, if you mention a specific time, use simple past. Example, I visited Paris in 2019. If the exact time isn't important, use present perfect. I have visited Paris. Focus on whether the time matters, and you'll choose the right tense automatically.
So it's really about what you want to highlight, the experience itself or when it happened. Makes it easier to remember.
Exactly. And one more tip. Mix in reaction words and feelings. For example, instead of just saying, I have tried sushi, you could say, I have tried sushi. It was amazing. That keeps your sentences lively and natural.
I love that. And for our viewers, try adding one reaction word to your present perfect sentence today. Even something small like good, fun, or amazing makes a difference.
Another useful strategy, ask questions using present perfect to keep conversations interactive. For instance, have you ever visited a new city? Or, have you tried the new cafe near your house? It encourages the other person to respond, and you practice naturally.
Yes, and don't worry about mistakes. Even if you say, I have saw a movie, just pause and correct yourself. No, I have seen a movie. That tiny correction helps your brain remember the right form.
Absolutely. And one more tip. Listen to native speakers using present perfect in podcasts, videos, or conversations. Phrases like, I have just finished, I have already done that, or I haven't tried it yet, will start feeling natural.
And here's a challenge for our viewers. Try 3 small sentences today using present perfect and share them in the comments. Even tiny examples count.
Yes, every small step adds up. And don't forget, your experiences are important. Sharing them makes learning more meaningful.
And before we wrap up, I want to give you a little sneak peek. Our next video is going to be super exciting. English podcast for easy English conversation. The power of not reacting. Learn English fast.
Yes, you definitely don't want to miss it. We'll share practical tips and mindset tricks that help you stay calm, confident, and fluent while speaking English.
Exactly. So everyone, make sure you check out that video as well. It's packed with useful advice for everyday conversations. And of course, keep practicing your present perfect sentences every day.
Remember, the journey to fluent English isn't about perfection. It's about practice, confidence, and enjoying the process. Keep going, and you'll notice the improvement faster than you expect.
Yes, and keep using short sentences, reaction words, and ready phrases. Every conversation is an opportunity to grow. Stick around for more tips in our next video.
Absolutely. And don't forget, your mistakes are just stepping stones. Speak, correct gently, and keep moving forward. That's the real power of learning English naturally.
So everyone, start today, share your sentences in the comments, and don't miss our next video. The power of not reacting. It's going to help you take your English to the next level.